So the drama continues. Welcome, folks. I am Jaby Koay, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
What's up?
We're looking at a few clips regarding the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. We are going to look at witness is caught vaping on camera while giving testimony during Johnny Depp trial. We're going to look at Johnny Depp's bodyguard testifies about violence during Amber Heard honeymoon, and could Amber Heard lawyer quit after intense Johnny Depp drama. And to top it all off, Psychologist wipes the floor with Amber Heard's lawyer part 3. You guys, if you haven't already, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, bell icon, all notifications, and pretty please vote this up to let YouTube know you're enjoying what you're watching. Here we go.
Tell me if you need me to bring up the videos and replay them. Can you tell me what type of makeup Amber Heard was wearing in any of those videos?
No, I can't tell you. I didn't even know she was wearing any lipstick.
Can you tell me?
Know.
Can you tell me whether Amber Heard was wearing concealer in any of those videos?
Why are you asking?
No.
What?
Can you tell me whether Amber Heard was wearing any foundation in any of those videos?
If I asked you, hey Jaby, what makeup am I wearing today? You'd be like,
Yeah, that's a very oddly specific question that a man would not know the answer to.
Most men.
To be fair, there are dudes that wear makeup. You know, they have a palette of colors to choose from of how they want to decor their faces and whatnot.
Yeah.
This guy certainly is not one of those guys. He doesn't strike me as that. Maybe he moonlights in West Hollywood, but I'm not going to make that assumption here. He's just like, what? No,
He's like,
I don't.
why are you
I don't
asking
understand.
me these questions, lady?
No, I can't tell you.
Can you tell me whether Amber Heard was wearing any blush in any of those videos?
No.
Can you tell me whether Amber Heard was wearing any powder?
He seems
on any
high.
of those videos?
No, but she looks really pale.
Well, do you know what shade of concealer or foundation or powder Miss Heard uses or used at that time?
No.
What the F is going on?
Hold on, I can't even hear what the guy's saying because I'm just looking at Johnny Depp's face. Johnny Depp's reaction is gold.
Johnny Depp's like, dude, you're my witness. Can't you just be in a right state of mind? You're sitting in a car. You're talking to a judge right now, and like you seem high.
The guy is in full degaff mode. Full 100% degaff.
He's wearing makeup in every one of those video clips, correct?
Correct.
I want to try to move along. So the incident was May 21st, 2016. You saw her the night of May 25th, correct?
Correct.
You said that you saw Amber Heard hundreds of times while she was there. Amber Heard treat you well, and was she friendly to you in each of these hundreds of times?
Yes. I'm not gonna say no because
now
she
he
was really
drives?
always nice.
All right, that's my
This guy's in court. This guy's in court and just driving around.
Right, in response to Mr. Presidio's questions, that you testified truthfully in all of these occasions. Did you testify truthfully to everything that you testified in response to my questions today?
That's correct.
All right.
I did.
That was a first. Okay, all right. Just gonna say, I've just never seen that before. I've seen a lot of things, but I've just never seen that. Yeah, that did it.
That judge is like, I've seen some weird shit in my time. Telling you what?
He's driving his car. Like, what, you couldn't take some time off work for this trial that you agreed to be a witness at? And like, you're vaping. You look high.
Can you be our witness for this trial? Is it okay if I do it from my car? Is that cool with you? I'll show up. I'll be there. I'm not gonna stop what I'm doing for you guys. I got shit to do. Like zero fuck. This whole thing is just nothing but shenanigans. It's just hilarious to me.
I'm surprised that he didn't at some point pick up a passenger.
The part where he started driving is where I lost it. All of his answers are just started. It's like, yeah, no, no, yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, sure, whatever. Nope. Nope.
Are we
done?
As time went on, did you have an opportunity to observe how Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard interacted with each other?
At the beginning, lovey-dovey, everything was great. The honeymoon period was on, and it was, it was good. I mean, it was great to see Johnny happy again. Amber was lovely, charming, as she usually is, And then things started to change. Amber started to change. Amber started getting a bit more feisty, demanding, I could see that Amber wanted to wear the pants in this relationship. That was pretty obvious.
Wow.
What in particular made you think that you observed personally?
Just the way, if something wasn't quite right, Amber could get a bit frosty at the drop of a hat. So as time went on, I could see them change. I could see Amber change. I could see Johnny getting quieter. We get into the car and nobody was speaking. And, it just, things started changing. Amber started getting a bit more grumpy.
Did you ever observe any physical injuries on Miss Heard?
Never, no.
How about on Mr. Depp?
Yes.
What is she writing?
It started off with maybe a scratch once in a while, a swelling, but it got more. It got more, yeah. I'm not talking he was marked every week or every 2 weeks, but yeah, he sustained marks, yeah, definitely. He was getting marked.
Can you generally describe for us what you remember about the marks you saw on Mr. Depp?
What I noticed right away was most of these marks and most of these things through my training is happening in the left-hand side of his face, and it would be scratches on his neck, maybe a fat lip in the corner, maybe a bruising on the eye socket. Dull impacts, except for obviously the scratches, maybe on his left ear. Sometimes it'd be two marks, 2 lines, 2 trams.
Wow.
1.
Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. And it was getting more regular. As I say, not every week, but it was definitely happening, yeah.
Can we see Plaintiff's Exhibit 162, please?
Yeah, I know that picture. I took that picture.
You took that
picture's on the... Yeah, I took the picture.
Can you just quickly tell us what this picture is?
This picture is Miss Heard and Johnny's honeymoon on the Orient Express on the East Line.
You just continue to describe for us what we're looking at in this picture.
If you look at that picture,
Where?
like I said,
Johnny
on the
Depp's
left-hand
face.
side, under his eye, there's a swelling.
Oh.
Oh,
And you
shit.
see a swelling just on the left-hand side of his nose and under his left eye.
Gosh, I wish the picture
And what
was
do you interpret
better
that swelling to be?
resolution.
What do I interpret it as? That's either
Yeah, it
he's
does
walked into a door or a door's walked into him.
Do you recall what year Mr. Depp and Miss Heard went on their honeymoon in the picture we were just looking at?
2013. 2013.
And were you, you testified that you took the picture, so you were there, I assume?
Absolutely, yes.
What can you tell us about that trip generally, and particularly focused on how Mr. Depp and Miss Heard were interacting with each other?
Started off good. The trip started fine. Absolutely fine. I think it was 5 days maybe. 2 days, 3 days into the trip, I can see Johnny going down. I can see him coming down,
Oh, wow. So soon after the wedding.
He's just not enjoying this. He's not enjoying this. But it's, I can't. It's not my business to step in and that. I just do my job. But I can see he's not enjoying this. He's not happy.
During the honeymoon, already trouble in paradise. From what we've learned about the case, it was already happening well before that with all of the prenup stuff.
I got 2 little words.
What?
Annulment. I don't know, man. He's in love. You're trying to make it work. I don't know if she clocked him in the face or what.
I do wish that the picture had been higher resolution.
That's like people shoot on their phones.
If he'd have taken a picture of us, like not on our honeymoon, obviously, but just taking a picture of us, her eyes were like blinking. He's a terrible photographer.
I don't know if I can digest a single ounce of this bullshit testimony because you're not even good at taking a goddamn photo. Jesus.
Yeah, clearly you don't have Instagram.
Clearly he's battered because he didn't even bother to check the fucking photo before making it final.
He should have taken like 3 shots because it wasn't a good photo, not at all.
Maybe movie stars don't give a shit about the things that we do, us low-level pedestrian folk. We were like, oh, no, you got to take like 18,000 photos to get it right. When you're a high-level celebrity, you're like, is it okay? It's proof. We were here.
We were here.
Moving on.
The Johnny and Amber case still has a long way to go, but we may already be seeing a light that favors Johnny Depp. So far, Amber has been receiving even more backlash than before, especially now that more evidence has been surfacing about the truth, including a recorded tape where Amber admitted to hitting Johnny, and the false claim of her camp about the makeup she used to cover her injuries from Johnny Depp's maltreatment. So, with all these going on and with Amber's camp getting a little behind, one question lingers. Could Amber Heard's lawyer quit after intense arguments in court? The litigation has taken several twists and turns, the most recent of which being the rumor that Heard's lead attorney, Elaine Breithoft, had quit after the actress was caught in a falsehood in which she claimed she used cosmetics to cover up her wounds. The report of Breithoft's departure, on the other hand, is a strange one. It is well known that the lawyer is completely focused on winning the case and is devising the best ways to avoid the defamation claims made by Depp. During last week's hearing, Heard claimed that she has used a Milani Cosmetics product to go to work and avoid having to show the horrific injuries that her then-husband had given her. The reason that this argument has been proven to be false is that the Milani brand's all-in-one kit was not released to the market until 2017, and the injuries that Heard had allegedly covered should have occurred between 2012 and 2016.
If she had to go on set to work,
They would have had their own makeup person.
yeah, you could have asked any makeup artist on set at that time, did you see any injuries on her? I'm sure that as a non-professional, you're probably not that good at covering it up. Any professional makeup artist could look at you and be like, wait, something's not right, or there's swelling on your face.
Sure.
And
With this makeup thing being a crucial piece of evidence, and it's like the dates just don't line up, and even the makeup company's coming out and be like, yo,
don't drag our name into this.
The makeup company's like, that sense no makey. Don't drag our name into your bullshit.
I love that, like, in this day and age, we can use a viral TikTok as evidence in court.
He also testified that he did not diagnose Amber with borderline personality disorder. Do you recall that testimony?
He also testified that he doesn't use diagnoses, but yes, I do recall that.
Oh.
All right, now let's jump to Amy Banks. Dr. Banks is a psychiatrist, correct?
Yes.
And she was a psychiatrist in Massachusetts that Amber Heard had reached out to after the Australia incident to try to help her relationship with Mr. Depp, correct? Let me back up. You attended Dr. Banks' deposition as well, did you not?
Yes, I did.
And Dr. Banks testified to that, correct?
I don't remember if she testified to that. I don't have the notes right in front of me or the deposition transcript.
All right.
She's like, covering her bases.
Dr. Banks saying that she was not surprised that Amber was seeking a restraining order because of the violence that she knew existed in the relationship.
I do recall that, and it would be impossible to know that violence exists as a treating therapist or as a psychologist. Again, we're not investigators. However, I do recall that she said that because I remember having that thought.
Let's go to Bonnie Jacobs. You said that you reviewed the notes from Bonnie Jacobs, correct?
Yes.
Can you find your notes?
And what you testified to was that you discounted these because the first notes from Bonnie Jacobs indicated that she already had all of these symptoms, correct?
I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying. I discounted.
Tell me why you discounted Bonnie Jacobs' notes.
I did not discount Bonnie Jacobs' notes.
You said that Bonnie Jacobs, in her notes, had already determined that these symptoms were present for Amber Heard before the relationship with Mr. Depp, did you not?
What I recall saying was that within Dr. Jacobs' notes, she's documented instances in which Ms. Heard reported to her over the course of therapy that she was experiencing nightmares, recurrent nightmares, in fact, about childhood abuse.
She documents multiple occasions that Amber Heard reports to her physical violence upon her by Mr. Depp, does she not?
There are several notes that indicate that Ms. Heard has reported violence by Mr. Depp, yes.
Many, correct?
I wouldn't qualify it as many.
What?
I'm not sure what you mean by many.
Many. What the hell?
Say?
I don't know. I don't have the notes in front of me.
Okay, well, what do you recall in deciding to make your opinions in this case?
What sort of qualifier is that? This lady went to law school. I'm sure she's very, very talented, very good at what she does. Maybe it's just very hard to make a lot of sense in this trial.
Would you say that there's like a shit ton of notes?
A shit ton of notes.
Well, I'm confused about the dates because I know that Dr. Jacobs treated Ms. Heard even while she was in her prior relationship, leaving her prior relationship with her last wife.
Dr. Curry, I'm not going to ask you to try to bring in extraneous things. I'm asking you what you recall of these notes.
But the dates would have been different based on that alone.
She's like,
and I recall that there was quite a bit of information because these were copious notes spanning back in time from her relationship with Tasha.
So Dr. Curry, please answer my question. How many occasions do you recall
I don't know.
Dr. Jacobs documenting Amber reporting physical abuse?
I don't know.
What is the gotcha here?
It's like the notes aren't in front of her. She doesn't know exactly the number.
You also said
it's
that
a lot.
you listened to audio tapes in this case, correct?
Yes.
Did you hear Mr. Depp admitting to headbutting Ms. Heard?
That is not what I heard.
You didn't hear that?
I heard a conversation about headbutting. I did not hear him, as you said, admit to headbutting Ms. Heard.
Okay, that's your characterization of it, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall Dr. Blaustein referring to Mr. Depp having rage?
No, I actually recall him referring to Ms. Heard in that note.
Oh.
Your testimony is that Dr. Blaustein was referring to Amber Heard as having rage?
Did you not hear?
I transcribed several of the notes, and I may be missing a time when I said that about Mr. Depp. The handwriting was very difficult to transcribe, but there was one instance in which I recall transcribing him stating that Mr. Depp reported that Ms. Heard had rage.
Dr. Blaustein's deposition was taken, was it not?
I don't recall.
So I take it then you don't recall him testifying that Mr. Depp told him he had rage and demons?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you recall Dr. Blaustein testifying that Mr. Depp looked at his wife Amber like his mother or his sister that he didn't like?
I haven't seen his deposition. I don't recall that.
Okay. Now, did you see and do you know whether Mr. Depp has ever been diagnosed with any personality disorders?
That's not relevant to my task to conduct an evaluation of Ms. Heard. So I do not know that he has had one. It was not in the records that he did.
All right. So one way or the other, you don't know whether Mr. Depp suffers from any personality disorders.
That's not my task.
Okay. Let me go to...
She seems so annoyed.
Yeah.
Perpetrators. Would you agree that accusations of infidelity can be considered one of the characteristics of a personality perpetrator of IPV?
It can be a characteristic of a lot of things. It is something that can be weaponized if somebody is trying to or is having rage toward their partner.
Amber's medical examination, she was cooperative, correct?
Her psychological, yes, she was cooperative and polite.
Okay. And in the 2 full days of examination, you felt she was polite and answered all your questions, except in one instance where she furrowed her brow when you were asking about friendships in high school, correct?
That's not correct.
All right, let's go to page 275.
How many times have we heard her say that's not correct?
A lot.
I feel like that's come up a lot.
My question was, did she at any time become combative or unfriendly with you or angry? And your answer was, there was one instance in which she appeared annoyed and the posturing forward a bit, more assertive tone, furrowed brow, when I was questioning something, following up on data that had been inconsistent about friendships in high school. Other than that, she was very polite. Is that your answer at that time?
That was my answer at that time, and it's inconsistent with the question you had just asked me.
And would you agree that appearing for this examination
Moving on.
with an expert who had been retained by Mr. Depp more than a year earlier might be a little stressful?
First of all, I'd like to clarify that I was not retained by Mr. Depp. I was retained by Mr. Depp's counsel. What I can say that, yes, any examinee in a forensic context, you would consider that they're probably stressed.
And it's common for the perpetrator to essentially gaslight the victim, accuse them of being the perpetrator. Would you agree?
Are you in a different area, or are you asking me a separate question?
I'm asking you a question.
Oh.
And it's common.
Sorry, can you please repeat it?
Yes. And it's common for the perpetrator to essentially gaslight the victim, accuse them of being the perpetrator. Would you agree? That's exactly how it was asked in the deposition. So
I understand it is a compound question. I'll sustain the objection.
And it's common for the perpetrator to essentially gaslight. I don't think that's, Your Honor, I think it's just one question. Let me try it. To gaslight the victim, isn't it?
That's a characteristic of psychological abuse, yes.
Okay, and it's common then for them to accuse them of being the perpetrator, the victim.
That's a characteristic of abuse from women perpetrated against men. It's actually very, very common. About 90% of male victims of IPV have reported that a female partner who abuses them makes threats to report their partner as an abuser. It's less common for men to make that statement to female partners just because there's less potential consequence.
Isn't it true, though,
makes
that
sense.
some form of gaslighting is often present in these personality-based IPV scenarios?
Yes,
And it's distressing for the victim to be accused, is it not?
absolutely.
It causes them a lot of fear,
Certainly.
and it causes them a lot of distress.
Absolutely, yes.
And in fact, they feel falsely accused,
Is he falling asleep?
correct?
Yes.
And they feel
No, he's
paranoid,
thinking.
Yes.
and they feel frightened,
Yes.
afraid that everyone's going to believe the perpetrator, correct?
Yes.
They're afraid they're going to lose their reputation, correct?
Yes.
Is she trying to justify Amber Heard's actions? Is that what she's trying to do? I'm very confused by the line of questioning.
I don't know, but what I'm noticing that I really like about Dr. Curry is that she's not being drawn into just answering without thinking about her answer. Do you know what I mean? Like,
She's considerate, yeah.
Yeah, like just then she didn't know, or like she didn't understand how that was relevant or whatever, and so she didn't answer it. And I feel like perhaps that's some sort of like weird line of questioning where they're hoping that they'll trip her up so that she agrees to something.
They're hoping to trip up a psychologist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the testing for a moment. You talked about the MMPI-2, but that's not the most recent MMPI, is it?
No, it's the most researched.
Okay. Now, you need to have an elevated, on the MMPI, there was only one section that had elevated scores, correct?
No, that's not correct.
It was the K section, correct?
That's not correct.
Okay. And was there any elevated score over 65 on the MMPI?
I would need to take a look at it. If, I provided a 25-page interpretation outline. If you're able to pull that up, I'd be happy to go over any of the individual scores for you.
Can you recall any clinical scales for the MMPI-2 for Amber Heard that were above 65 as you sit there today?
Again, there are multiple scales on this test, 25 pages worth listed. So if you can pull it up, then I can review and give you a confident answer.
What can you recall as you sit there?
I'm hesitant to do that because I don't want to make an error by ignoring hundreds of scale scores.
And would you
good
agree
lady.
that you can't make a pathological determination or diagnosis if the scales are not elevated on the MMPI-2?
I would not agree with that.
Okay. Now, one of the answers that Amber gave is that it's hard for her to feel safe, correct?
Are you talking about the MMPI-2?
Yes.
Again, I don't recall. There are 567 items on that. I would need to see her results.
Well, it's a common trauma symptom, isn't it, to not feel safe?
Sure.
And safety concerns are common among women who have been victimized, correct?
Women and men, yes.
Okay. And common especially for sexually victimized people. Would you agree?
Any type of victimization, yes.
Okay. And hard to trust. That's a common after effect of interpersonal violence related trauma, correct?
Sure.
And memory difficulties. Amber said she felt she had holes. Do you recall that?
I do. And her account was different than typical memory difficulties with trauma.
You have not made any determinations, including any of opinions that Ms. Heard abused Mr. Depp or Mr. Depp abused Ms. Heard, correct?
Correct. That's outside of the scope of psychology.
Okay. And you cannot testify whether Amber Heard suffered any emotional distress as a result of any of the defamatory comments that she has alleged Mr. Waldman made through Mr. Depp made through Mr. Waldman, correct?
What I can testify is that there was no indication of a decline in psychological functioning showing any injury since she's been with Mr. Depp.
Wow.
You cannot testify one way or the other on that, correct? Your Honor, may we approach?
Okay.
This lawyer is not happy.
Hey, You're a shitty lawyer.
I don't know what's going on with her lawyer. She just doesn't sound very confident, especially when pitted against Dr. Curry, who's very calmly answering the questions. She's not allowing this lawyer to trick her into saying...
bully her.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. It's like the test had over 500 questions. How am I supposed to remember exactly what she answered?
Can you just make up something right now?
Yeah.
Can you just make up an answer? Yeah, just tell me something I want to hear. Please, just tell me something that makes me feel better. You're not making this easy. Everything you're saying is like, oh, I don't know. I don't know this. I don't know that. What do you know, Shannon Curry?
I thought you were a professional.
So what? 500 questions. Oh my God. Like, can't you just like, what does it feel like the answer was?
Can you make an educated guess? No, you're not going to trick me.
You have me on a witness stand right now.
Yeah.
You want me to just make up a thing?
And I'm sure, as a psychologist knows, memory can be fallible.
Everything is basically in stone when it comes to court. You have to be careful about what you're saying, because then they'll backtrack all that shit and then use it against you later on, like she's doing. She's got the depositions and she's going, you said this and this and this and this. And Dr. Shannon Curry is like, yeah, but the question you asked was asked in a really shitty way. And so, of course, I gave you a shitty answer back.
Can you imagine, though, if that's really what she said? Like, your question's shitty.
But so what she's doing is covering her tracks, so dotting her I's and crossing her T's in a very, very, very effective way.
As she should do.
Right. I really appreciate how Dr. Shannon Curry is responding to each of these things, because she's not allowing herself to be caught in any kind of like word trap of any kind. I was selected for jury duty once, and I was trying to get out. Judge wanted to talk to us one by one. So there's like, everyone is outside of the courtroom, right? I go inside, and the judge announces, okay, Jaby Koay is entering. You're on record now. Go ahead. It was very like strong. The way the judge shouted at me, I'm like, bitch, I can hear you. Like, you don't need to be so loud. What's up with that? It's like me and a fucking bailiff. Like, what? Why do you need to be so loud?
I'm right here,
and the typographer, whatever, the stenographer.
Stenographer, yeah.
Like, there's like 3 of us in this room, 4 of us. So why are you shouting so aggressively at me? Calm, dude, you're aggro. Like, he was nice 10 seconds before I entered the courtroom. I don't know why he's being so... So the point is that he was trying to get me to not get out of jury duty.
Oh, he's trying to scare you.
He was trying to scare me, yeah.
Okay.
He was trying to scare me into like, don't lie now, because the stenographer is writing down all of the things you're saying, and it's like, this is a courtroom. I can't do it, Judge.
That's the truth, though.
It was the truth, yeah. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed some of that. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Bell icon, all notifications, and vote this up. I'm Jaby Koay. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.